You didn't find this video by accident. Sometimes, life brings you exactly what you need at the exact moment you need it. And maybe right now what you need most is a pause, a breath, a moment of truth. If you're feeling lost, disconnected, tired of pretending that everything's okay, while silently carrying a weight, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. Today, we're going to explore happiness. Not the version that's sold to us in ads and Instagram posts, but the kind that psychologist Carl Jung spoke of. A happiness rooted in meaning, authenticity, and the courage to face who we really are. So sit with me for a few minutes. Let this video be your quiet companion. Part 1, the illusion of external happiness. In our modern world, happiness is marketed as something you can acquire. A perfect body, a successful career, a relationship that looks good in photos. We're taught to believe that happiness is found outside of us, that is a finish line we reach once we've ticked all the boxes. Carl Jung challenged this idea. He believed that the more we search for fulfillment in the external world, the more disconnected we become from our true selves. He wrote, "Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." Think about that. How much of your life has been spent chasing dreams designed by others? Dreams you thought would make you happy, but didn't? This isn't your fault. Society rarely teaches us to look inward. It rewards performance, not presence. Productivity, not peace. But the truth is, real happiness begins when we stop searching for it in places it was never meant to exist. Part 2, the shadow and the parts we hide. We all have a side we don't show others. The parts of ourselves that we were taught to hide. Our fears, insecurities, anger, sadness, jealousy. Jung called this the shadow, the unconscious side of our personality. Everything we repressed or denied, buried deep, because we fear it would make us unlovable. But here's the paradox. The more we reject our shadow, the more power it holds over us. Carl Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." In other words, the things we don't face within ourselves are the very things that continue to control us. Think about it. How many of your reactions, relationships, or choices are shaped by wounds you haven't fully explored? Happiness doesn't come from perfection. It comes from integration. When you accept your shadow, when you stop running from it and begin to understand it with compassion, you create space for healing, for authenticity. Because being whole is not about being flawless. It's about being real. Part 3, the self and the journey within. At the center of Jung's teachings is the idea of the self, the complete, true version of who you are. Not the mask you wear, not the role you play, but the deeper you that existed before the world told you who to be. Jung believed that the purpose of life is not to be happy in a shallow sense, but to become yourself. He called this process individuation. It's a journey, sometimes long, often uncomfortable, but always worthwhile. Because when you start to connect with your true self, when you stop performing and start listening, you begin to experience a different kind of joy, a quiet, steady happiness that doesn't depend on circumstances. It's not a high, it's not excitement, it's peace. And it comes not from becoming someone else, but from finally coming home to who you already are. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." So if you're tired of chasing, striving, pretending, maybe it's time to begin this journey. The journey inward. Part 4, when everything falls apart. Life has a way of shaking us. Breakups, loss, depression, burnout, illness, loneliness. Maybe you're in one of those moments right now. Maybe nothing feels solid, and you're questioning everything. Carl Jung didn't see suffering as failure. He saw it as initiation, a call from the unconscious to wake up, to grow, to heal, not by fixing everything, but by facing it. He wrote, "There's no coming to consciousness without pain." Pain, in Jung's view, is not an enemy. It's a messenger. When life breaks you open, it's not to destroy you. It's to show you what needs your attention. That anxiety, that sadness, that exhaustion, they're signals. And beneath them, often, is a deeper truth, that some part of you is longing to be seen, to be accepted, to be loved, not just by others, but by you. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be better before you're worthy. You are worthy now, exactly as you are. Part 5, the real source of happiness. Happiness, in the truest sense, is not something we chase. It's something we allow. It arises when we stop betraying ourselves for the sake of fitting in, when we stop trying to be who we're not and start honoring who we are. It grows in silence, in honesty, in choosing presence over performance. Jung believed that every person has a guiding inner force, a blueprint for who they're meant to be. When you align with that inner truth, you don't have to search for happiness. You become it. You radiate a calm that doesn't scream. You find joy in ordinary things. You begin to feel at home in your own skin, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer at war with yourself, closing a quiet return to yourself. If this video found you now, maybe it's because you were ready to hear this, ready to stop running, ready to meet yourself gently, without judgment. You don't have to become someone new. You don't need more affirmation, more applause, more accomplishments. You just need to remember who you are. Carl Jung left us a powerful truth. What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size. So what if instead of resisting you allowed, what if you made space for your sadness, your uncertainty, your quiet longing to be whole? And what if that space became your freedom? Take a deep breath. You're not broken. You're becoming. And in that becoming, happiness is already here, waiting for you. If this message found you, it's because you're ready to return to yourself. Welcome home.